Acquiring a business? BizNexus simplifies it. Access thousands of updated opportunities in our DIY marketplace or supercharge team sourcing with OmniSource, your all-in-one platform for on-market, off-market, and coming-soon deals. Scale smarter today. Learn more or book a demo at www.biznexus.com.
Disclaimer from the always present legal team. Podcast conversations don't necessarily reflect the views of BizNexus Incorporated. Everything you hear is informational news and updates from around the industry. We're not recommending any investments. We're not offering any investment advice. Be sure to do your own homework.
Hey there. Ready to get ahead of the curve? You wanted the inside track on mergers and acquisitions in 2025. Specifically, how the trends might impact you. As someone navigating the world of lower middle management, well, we're going straight to the source. A recent report from Goldman Sachs, those Wall Street titans who consistently rank #1 in M&A advisory.
And this isn't just some quick overview. They surveyed nearly 2,000 of their clients, the real movers and shakers, corporations, private equity firms, the whole deal-making ecosystem, to get their pulse on what's coming next.
So first things first, Goldman Sachs is saying to get ready for a corporate buying frenzy. It seems companies are shifting gears, moving from selling off assets to scooping them up at a rapid pace.
And what's driving this shift? A lot of it comes down to confidence. Remember all the uncertainty around regulations and interest rates we saw last year? That's starting to clear up, and CEOs are feeling more bullish about the future. They're ready to invest in growth and transform their businesses.
That makes sense. A stable environment makes for a more predictable playing field. But what does this mean for someone like you, working in lower middle management? It signals a potential shift in your company's priorities. Maybe there's a new focus on expansion and bringing in new capabilities.
Exactly. And with that comes opportunity. Think about the skills and expertise. That might be in high demand as your company looks to integrate new businesses or leverage these acquisitions for growth. Are you positioned to contribute? Could you become a key player in this new landscape?
It's all about anticipating those changes and being ready to adapt. Now, another big trend Goldman Sachs is highlighting is this idea of simplification. Companies streamlining their structures and separating out different parts of their businesses.
It's like Marie Kondo for corporations, but with billion-dollar stakes. It's not just about decluttering, though. They're looking to maximize value for each part of the business and really laser focus on their core strengths.
The report specifically mentions that over half of these separations are happening outside the U.S., particularly in Europe. They even gave the example of Anglo American, a mining giant, divesting its Australian coal portfolio for almost $5 billion.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting for someone in lower middle management. How do these separations impact your role, your team, even your career trajectory? Are you part of a division that's being spun off? Could this be a chance to take on more responsibility in a smaller, more agile organization? Or could it create uncertainty and require you to navigate a shifting power dynamic?
These are all great questions to consider. It's all about staying informed and understanding the potential ripple effects of these major corporate moves.
As speaking of big moves, we can't ignore the private equity firms, or sponsors, as they're often called. Sitting on a mountain of cash, ready to invest, they've been acquiring companies left and right, but now the pressure's on to sell those companies and generate returns for their investors.
The report says there are over 1,200 companies worth $1 billion or more, primed to hit the market in the next few years. That's a lot of potential for M&A activity.
And a lot of potential for you to become part of a company with a new set of owners, a new strategy, and a new culture. Imagine the possibilities and the challenges that could come with that.
All right, before we move on, let's talk about the elephant in the room, AI. It's not just hype anymore, it's driving massive changes in the M&A landscape, and we need to understand how that might affect us.
Think of the AI boom as a layered cake. At the bottom, you've got the infrastructure, the data centers and chips. Then you have the platform, the software tools that make AI work. And finally, you've got the application, the ways AI is being used in different industries.
And according to Goldman Sachs, the M&A activity is hottest at those bottom two levels, the infrastructure and the platform.
It's like everyone's trying to build the foundation and the framework for this AI revolution, and that's where the big money is flowing.
The report gives a great example of this. Semiconductor companies are going on a buying spree, acquiring firms that give them full-stack capabilities. Basically, they're trying to control every part of the process, from designing the chips to running the data centers.
And why are they doing this? Because the bottleneck right now is in those data centers and the power needed to run them. AI servers are energy hogs. They use 10 times more power than traditional servers. So companies are scrambling to secure the resources they need to power their AI ambitions.
Now, how does this impact you as someone in lower middle management? Well, think about the ripple effects. This increased demand for infrastructure and platform capabilities could create opportunities for your company, even if you're not directly working in AI.
Maybe your company provides services or products that support these AI initiatives. Maybe you're in a position to help your team adapt to new technologies and workflows. Or maybe you see this as a chance to develop new skills and position yourself for a career move into the booming AI sector.
It's fascinating to see how these macro trends create micro opportunities, even for those of us who aren't directly coding the next AI algorithm.
Precisely. Sometimes the biggest shifts happen outside of the spotlight.
Speaking of a broader view, Goldman Sachs is also highlighting a resurgence in cross-border M&A. It seems deals between companies in different countries, particularly between the US and Europe, are making a comeback.
It's like the business world is becoming increasingly interconnected, even in the face of geopolitical tensions. The report specifically points to EMEA, Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, seeing a 43% jump in deals worth over $10 billion last year.
Wow, that's significant. And they said Japan is up 30%, with India emerging as another hotbed of activity. I guess you could say the global marketplace is truly heating up.
And that heat brings both opportunities and challenges for someone in your position. Imagine your company gets acquired by a firm overseas. Suddenly, you're navigating a new corporate culture, potentially working with colleagues across time zones, and maybe even traveling internationally.
It could be a chance to broaden your horizons, develop new skills, and build relationships with colleagues from diverse backgrounds. But it could also require you to adapt to new ways of working and communicating.
Exactly. It's about being prepared for the unexpected and embracing the potential for growth and learning. That comes with globalization.
You know, when you lay it all out like this, it really paints a vivid picture of how these trends might impact someone working in lower middle management. It's not just about billion-dollar deals happening in some far-off boardroom. It's about the potential ripple effects that can reach every level of a company.
Absolutely. These trends can reshape industries, redefine job roles, and create new pathways for career advancement. And the more you understand these dynamics, the better equipped you'll be to navigate them and even leverage them to your advantage.
So far, we've talked about corporate buying sprees, streamlining, private equity, and the AI revolution, all in the context of how they might affect someone in your shoes. But Goldman Sachs didn't stop there. They also discussed the rise of activist investors, and that's something we can't ignore.
Ah, yes, activist investors. Those who aren't afraid to shake things up and push companies in a new direction. The report states that they're becoming even more assertive, targeting larger companies and demanding bolder changes.
It's almost like they're the corporate world's equivalent of a strong cup of coffee, waking everyone up and demanding action. The report specifically mentioned that nearly a third of activist campaigns last year were aimed at companies worth $10 billion or more.
And with the potential for a shifting regulatory landscape, these activists might have even more leverage to push for their agendas, especially when it comes to M&A and portfolio simplification, two areas where activists often see opportunities to unlock value.
So what does this mean for someone in lower middle management? Well, if your company becomes the target of an activist investor, hold on tight because things could get interesting.
You might see battles over board seats, shifts in strategic direction, maybe even a push for a sale or merger. It's important to stay informed about who's investing in your company and what their goals might be, because those goals could have a direct impact on your day-to-day work and your future prospects.
It's a great reminder that the world of business is constantly evolving, and it's not just about the numbers. It's about the people, the strategies, and the power dynamics that shape these decisions.
And it's about recognizing that even seemingly distant events, like a surge in cross-border M&A, or a private equity firm cashing out, can have a ripple effect that reaches your desk, your team, and your career trajectory. Being aware of these trends is the first step in navigating them effectively.
It feels like we've covered so much ground already, from corporate buying sprees to the AI revolution. But I want to make sure we connect all of this back to you and what it means for someone working in lower middle management.
It's easy to get lost in the headlines, about mega mergers and billion-dollar valuations. But the real impact of these trends often plays out on a much more personal level.
Exactly. So if you're listening to this and thinking, okay, this is all very interesting, but how does it actually affect me? Here's what I'm taking away from all of this.
I am all ears.
First, be proactive. Don't wait for change to happen to you. Start paying attention to these trends and think about how they might impact your company, your industry, even your specific role.
I completely agree. Knowledge is power, especially in a fast-changing business environment.
Second, don't be afraid to ask questions. Talk to your manager, your colleagues, even people in your network who might have insights into these trends. The more you understand, the better prepared you'll be.
And don't underestimate the power of networking. Connecting with people in different industries and roles can give you a broader perspective on how these trends are playing out across the business landscape.
Third, be adaptable. The only constant in the world of business is change. So be willing to learn new skills, take on new challenges, and embrace new ways of working.
Flexibility is key. The more adaptable you are, the more resilient you'll be in the face of change.
And finally, don't forget to think about the bigger picture. These trends are not just about business. They're about the future of work, the global economy, and the role technology plays in our lives.
It's about connecting the dots between these seemingly disparate trends and understanding how they're shaping the world around us, and perhaps even more importantly, it's about recognizing your own agency in navigating this evolving landscape.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the 2025 M&A Outlook, I want to leave you with a challenge. Don't just consume this information. Use it. Think critically about the trends we've discussed, explore the industries that fascinate you, and consider how you can leverage this knowledge to create opportunities for yourself and your career.
Because at the end of the day, it's not just about understanding the trends, it's about harnessing their power to shape your own future.
That's it for this deep dive. We hope you found it insightful and maybe even a little bit inspiring. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.
Thinking of exiting your business or taking on a private equity partner to help you grow faster? BizNexus has you covered. Tap into our network of thousands of best-fit investors, acquirers, and proven M&A advisors, and we'll help you begin the relationship confidentially on your terms, your timeline. Learn more at biznexus.com.